the United States bicentennial Washington quarter dollar, with the special dual date, 1776 to 1976. But this isn't just any coin. While many might think of it as just another quarter, there are rare and special versions of this coin that could be hiding in your change jar, your childhood collection, or even an old forgotten drawer. Some of these unique pieces have sold for truly jaw-dropping amounts. And yes, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars. So stick with us, because by the end of this video, we'll tell you exactly how much one of these quarters could be worth if you've got the right one. You might want to grab a magnifying glass. Now let's begin by exploring the fascinating origin of this historical coin. In 1976, the United States celebrated its 200th birthday, its bicentennial. To mark the occasion, the U.S. Mint released specially designed quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins with the dual date 1776 to 1976. These weren't just regular coins, they were commemorative pieces to honor 2 centuries of American independence and heritage. On the obverse, or front, of the bicentennial quarter, we still see the familiar portrait of George Washington, America's first president. This design had been used on quarters since 1932. But what made the bicentennial version special was that instead of a single date, it had 2, 1776 and 1976, symbolizing the nation's birth and its 200-year journey. But flip the coin over, and that's where things get really interesting. The reverse side of the coin features a unique and beautiful design by Jack L. Ahr, a colonial drummer boy with a flame behind him and a victory torch encircled by 13 stars, one for each of the original 13 colonies. This is not just a piece of currency, it's a storytelling artifact. It captures the revolutionary spirit and courage of the people who fought for American independence. For many collectors, this design alone makes the coin a must-have. Now, let's talk about the different versions of the bicentennial quarter. Millions were minted in circulation strike-clad versions. Those are the ones made of copper nickel. These are the ones most people are familiar with and can still find in pocket change. However, there were also special mint sets and proof versions made for collectors. Some of these coins were struck in 40% silver, and they have a very different luster and weight compared to the regular clad coins. But here's the part that really starts to separate the average coin from the rare and valuable ones. Among the millions produced, a few coins came out with minting errors, anomalies, and incredibly high-quality strikes that make them worth serious money today. What kind of errors, you ask? Let's start with double dies. These occur when the coin is struck twice, but the die shifts slightly between strikes. This results in doubling of the text or imagery. Look closely at the words, "In God We Trust," or the date on the obverse, and you might see a shadow-like doubling. Some rare bicentennial quarters have this error, and collectors pay top dollar for them. Then there are off-center strikes. If a coin isn't properly aligned in the press, the image can be stamped off-center, leaving blank space on one side and a shifted design. These off-center bicentennial quarters are highly collectible, especially those with 10% or more misalignment, and we can't forget about coins struck on the wrong planchet. Imagine a quarter design struck on a dime-sized blank. Or even better, a bicentennial quarter accidentally struck on a silver planchet instead of a clad one. These kinds of errors are not just rare, they are virtually one of a kind. And when these coins show up at auction, they spark bidding wars. Condition also plays a massive role. A coin in average circulated condition might only be worth its face value. But if you've got one that's in mint state, what collectors call MS-65, MS-67, or even higher, the value skyrockets. Coins in pristine condition, with their luster intact, free from scratches or handling marks, are the ones that make headlines. Collectors are passionate about these coins not only because of their errors and beauty, but because of what they represent. This quarter marks a major milestone in U.S. history. It connects us to the founding of the country. Holding one is like holding a little piece of 1776 and 1976 at the same time. Now imagine owning a bicentennial Washington quarter with a rare error, perhaps a double die, an off-metal strike, or a perfect uncirculated silver version straight from a special mint set. Such a coin isn't just a collectible, it's a treasure, and treasures, as you know, don't come cheap. At major coin auctions, some of these ultra-rare bicentennial quarters have stunned the collecting world by fetching astronomical prices. One such piece, known for its flawless strike and extraordinary rarity, was sold not long ago for a jaw-dropping amount. So now, for the part you've been waiting for. One of these rare 1776 to 1976 bicentennial Washington quarters, struck in error and preserved in near-perfect condition, was sold at auction for a breathtaking $91,000. Yes, you heard that right. 91,000 United States dollars. For a single quarter. So before you toss that old coin aside or spend it on your morning coffee, take a closer look. Examine the details. Check the date. Flip it over. Look for the drummer boy. And if you think it might be something special, have it appraised. Because that little coin in your hand could be worth a small fortune. Top 2. We're diving deep into a United States quarter that not only carries significant historical and cultural meaning, but also holds the potential to be worth a staggering amount of money. That's right, we're talking about the 2022 Maya Angelou Washington quarter dollar. It may be relatively new, but this coin has already captured the hearts of collectors everywhere. You might think that a modern coin couldn't possibly be worth a fortune, but let us assure you, there are versions of this quarter that are not just rare, they're incredibly valuable. So grab your favorite cup of coffee, sit back, and let's take a journey through history, culture, and the unexpected surprises that could be hiding in your very own pocket change. In 2022, the United States Mint launched the American Women Quarters program, a powerful tribute to influential women in American history. One of the very first to be honored in this groundbreaking series was none other than Dr. Maya Angelou, poet, author, singer, activist. Maya Angelou was a legend in every sense of the word. She made history, broke barriers, and inspired millions with her words and her resilience. Featuring her on a U.S. coin wasn't just a commemorative gesture, it was a long overdue recognition of her impact on American culture. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll find a refreshed portrait of George Washington, different from the traditional Washington quarter image you might be used to. This one was originally created by sculptor Laura Garden Fraser back in 1931, and it's finally getting the spotlight it deserves. The design shows Washington in a more contemplative, left-facing pose, giving a fresh and dignified look to the classic American quarter, but it's the reverse side of the coin that truly stands out. There, in stunning detail, is Maya Angelou, depicted with her arms uplifted against a backdrop of a rising sun and a bird in flight, imagery that reflects both her spirit and her famous autobiography, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. It's a coin that doesn't just commemorate, it speaks. It tells a story. It inspires. Now you may be wondering, it's a beautiful coin, but how can something minted so recently be worth thousands, or even tens of thousands, of dollars? That's where things get exciting. While millions of these coins were produced for general circulation, not all of them were struck perfectly. As with many coins, there are rare error versions of the 2022 Maya Angelou quarter that can elevate their value astronomically. And when we say rare, we mean once-in-a-blue-moon kind of rare. Let's talk about some of these potential minting errors that collectors are desperately searching for. One of the most desirable is the double die. This error occurs when a coin is struck more than once with misaligned dies, causing the design elements to appear doubled. If you have a Maya Angelou quarter with noticeable doubling on her arms, wings, or even the inscriptions like United States of America or E Pluribus Unum, you could be holding a coin that's worth far more than 25 cents. Another valuable error type is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank is not perfectly aligned in the press, resulting in part of the design being cut off. Off-center errors of more than 10% are considered valuable, and when the date is still visible, they become even more appealing to collectors. A 2022 Maya Angelou quarter with a clean off-center strike is not just a mistake, it's a masterpiece of imperfection that collectors are dying to add to their showcases. Then there are die cracks and cuts. These occur when the dies used to strike the coin develop breaks or missing pieces. The result? Raised lines or blobs of metal that weren't part of the original design. Some collectors specifically hunt for these oddities, and unique variations in a popular modern coin like this can quickly gain cult status in the collecting world. Another highly desirable version is the wrong planchet error. This is when a Maya Angelou quarter is accidentally struck on a blank meant for another denomination, like a dime or even a foreign coin planchet. These errors are so rare that when they surface, they send shockwaves through the auction world. Finding one would be the equivalent of winning the coin lottery. Now let's talk condition, because as always in coin collecting, condition is king. A 2022 Maya Angelou quarter straight from circulation might be interesting, but one that's graded in perfect or near perfect condition by a reputable grading company like PCGS or NGC. That's where things heat up. Collectors pay big money for coins in mint state 67, 68, or even the elusive 69 grade. If a rare error quarter is also in pristine condition, it becomes a double jackpot, rare and perfect, a combination that sends its value into the stratosphere. Why is there so much excitement surrounding a modern coin? Because it represents the beginning of something. It's the first issue in a historic new series. It celebrates a cultural icon. And it's fresh enough that many people haven't even realized its potential yet. That makes it a thrilling chase for collectors who want to be first to own the rarest examples before prices soar even higher. So here's what you need to do: check your change. Dig through your coin jars. Look at those quarters in your wallet. Examine each one closely. You're looking for that 2022 date. Then look for errors. Look for anything unusual, any signs of doubling, misalignment, odd shapes, or unusual metal tones. If something catches your eye, don't brush it off. Have it checked by a professional coin dealer or submit it for grading, because some of these Maya Angelou quarters have already sold at major auctions for unbelievable prices. Coins with exceptional errors and flawless condition are changing hands for amounts that would make your jaw drop. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. One such rare Maya Angelou 2022 Washington quarter dollar, featuring a dramatic mint error and preserved in spectacular condition, was sold for an astonishing $88,000. Yes, you heard that right. 88,000 United States dollars. For a single quarter. This is the magic of numismatics. This is why coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a journey of discovery, a hunt for hidden treasures, and sometimes, a chance to hold history and value in the palm of your hand. So if you thought modern coins couldn't be valuable, think again. And if you've got a 2022 Maya Angelou quarter, it might be worth a lot more than you think. Top 3. We're talking about the 2021 United States Washington quarter dollar, crossing the Delaware edition. This coin is a modern marvel, bold in design, rich in symbolism, and, believe it or not, possibly worth a life-changing amount of money. Yes, you heard that right. There's a special version of this coin out there that has fetched a stunning price at auction. And today, we're going to explore why.so. Lean in, because you're going to want to hear every detail. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting to explore the world of coins, this is a story worth your time, and maybe worth a whole lot more. Let's begin with some background. In 2021, the US Mint released a coin that, in many ways, brought things full circle. It followed the conclusion of the wildly popular America the Beautiful Quarters series that ran from 2010 through 2021. But instead of launching straight into a new design program, the Mint decided to take a powerful detour, one that returned the quarter to its revolutionary roots. Enter the crossing the Delaware quarter. On the obverse, or front, you'll see the familiar image of George Washington, but with a twist. This portrait, designed by Laura Garden Fraser, was originally proposed for the 1932 quarter but was passed over at the time. Now, in 2021, nearly 90 years later, it finally got the recognition it deserved. It's a striking, left-facing bust of Washington, serious and steady, capturing the gravity of a man about to lead a revolution, but the real magic lies on the reverse. Here, we're treated to a dramatic, almost cinematic depiction of General George Washington standing at the bow of a boat, midwinter, crossing the icy Delaware River on the night of December 25, 1776. This historic moment was a turning point in the Revolutionary War. The image is bold, inspiring, and filled with determination, just like the coin itself. But now let's get to the part that gets every collector's heart racing: the rarity, the errors, and the value. Most of these quarters were struck for circulation in huge numbers, and they still show up in everyday change. So you might be thinking, how could this common coin possibly be valuable? Here's the secret: not all 2021 crossing the Delaware quarters are created equal. There are rare versions with minting errors, exceptional strike quality, and even planchet anomalies that make them extremely collectible. An extremely valuable point. One of the most sought-after errors is the die clash. This happens when the dies, used to strike the coin, slam into each other without a planchet between them, leaving ghost-like impressions of the opposite side's design. Some Delaware quarters show traces of Washington's face or features from the reverse on the wrong side. These are fascinating and highly collectible. Another error is the off-center strike. When the coin blank isn't properly aligned in the press, the design is stamped off-center, leaving part of the image cut off. If the date is still visible, this kind of error makes the coin significantly more valuable, especially when the off-center percentage is high. Then there's the double die error. This is when the coin is struck twice by the same die, but misaligned slightly, causing a shadow-like doubling effect. On the Delaware quarter, this doubling might appear on Washington's face, on the inscriptions like, "Crossing the Delaware," or even on the date. These errors are both rare and visually dramatic. A lesser known but incredibly valuable type is the struck-through error. This happens when a foreign object like a piece of cloth or wire gets between the die and the blank, creating an odd indentation or design variation. Some of these have even passed into circulation, unnoticed by the general public. And let's not forget the wrong planchet error. This is when a quarter is accidentally struck on a blank intended for another denomination, like a nickel or a dime. The result is a coin with an unusual weight, color, or size, and if it has the 2021 date and crossing the Delaware design, it becomes a prize beyond measure. Of course, error coins are only part of the story. Condition plays a massive role in value. Coins graded as MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC can command premium prices. That's especially true if they come from an early strike, have full mint luster, and show no signs of wear or handling. Some collectors also chase special finishes, for example, satin strikes from mint sets or proof-like surfaces from early die states. These qualities, when combined with rarity or an error, can take a coin from interesting to incredibly valuable. It's this combination of historical design, unexpected rarity, and flawless preservation that turns a pocket-sized piece of metal into a numismatic treasure. Let's take a moment to think about the power of a single coin. A coin you could find in your spare change. A coin that millions might overlook. But with the right details, a subtle doubling, an off-center strike, a planchet mistake, or just an impeccable mint condition, it could be worth not just more than its face value, but potentially life-changing money. So here's the takeaway: check your coins. Look closely. Turn them in the light. Get a magnifier. Study the edges, the lettering, the portrait, and the scene of Washington crossing the Delaware. If something looks off, or unusually perfect, you might have something very, very special. And now, the moment that truly brings all this into focus. Point 1: 2021 Washington quarter, featuring the crossing the Delaware design, was discovered with a dramatic and rare minting error. It was carefully graded, authenticated, and auctioned to an elite collector audience. That single quarter sold for a breathtaking $85,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. 85,000 United States dollars. For a 25-cent coin that could have easily gone unnoticed in a coin jar or vending machine. This is the excitement of coin collecting. This is why we search. Why we learn. Why we never underestimate what we hold in our hands. So next time you get change back from the store, or find a quarter under your car seat, don't ignore it. Examine it. Treasure it. Because you never know, you might be looking at your own small fortune. Top 4. We're talking about the 1995 United States Washington quarter dollar. That's right, a coin that many overlook as just another common quarter could, under the right circumstances, be worth more than a luxury car, or even a down payment on a house. So if you've ever tossed a 1995 quarter into a change jar or left it in your glove compartment, you're going to want to stick around, because this story might just change the way you look at coins forever. Let's begin with a little background. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932. Designed by John Flanagan to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, it has become one of the most recognized coins in circulation. By 1995, the design was still going strong, but subtle changes and unexpected errors during that year's minting process made some coins extraordinarily rare and extraordinarily valuable. The obverse, or the front of the 1995 quarter, features the classic profile of George Washington, with the inscriptions "Liberty" above, "In God We Trust" to the left, and the mint year, 1995, right below. The reverse shows the traditional eagle with wings outstretched, perched on a bundle of arrows, with olive branches below. A proud symbol of American strength and peace. At first glance, there's nothing unusual. But here's where things get interesting. During the minting process in 1995, a small number of quarters were produced with significant errors and die varieties, mistakes or changes in the stamping tools used to strike the coins. These coins are the ones collectors dream of finding. Because while tens of millions of 1995 quarters were made, only a tiny fraction have these rare traits that make them worth thousands, yes, even tens of thousands, of dollars. Let's break down what makes a 1995 Washington quarter potentially valuable. First, one of the most famous and highly sought-after errors is the double die obverse. This happens when the coin die, used to stamp the image, shifts slightly and strikes the coin twice, leaving a doubled image. On the 1995 quarter, collectors have discovered examples where the letters "In Liberty" and "In God We Trust" are clearly doubled. This is not just a barely visible error, you can see it clearly with a magnifying glass. Coins with strong doubling in the lettering are incredibly rare, and if you find one in good condition, it can be worth a small fortune. Another type of error involves the off-center strike. These occur when the coin isn't aligned properly in the press and the design is stamped off to one side. The more off-center it is, and the more of the design is still visible, the more desirable it becomes. A 1995 quarter struck significantly off-center, especially with the full date visible, becomes a collector's prize. These kinds of misstrikes are hard to come by, especially in high-grade condition. Then there's the broad strike error, where the coin is struck without the collar that keeps it in place, causing the metal to spread out wider than usual. These can give the coin a strange, stretched appearance and are often highly collectible when found on older coins like the 1995 quarter, and let's not forget about wrong planchet errors. This is when a quarter is struck on a coin blank that was intended for another denomination, like a nickel, dime, or even a foreign coin. These errors are extremely rare, and when they're authenticated, they often go for eye-popping prices at auction. If you ever notice a quarter that looks thinner, lighter, or off-color, take a closer look. You could be holding something very special. Now here's a detail that many people miss: proof-like qualities in business strike coins. A standard 1995 quarter that came out of circulation isn't supposed to be shiny like a mirror. But every once in a while, early in the minting process, a few coins are struck with newly polished dies, resulting in a near-proof-like finish. If your 1995 quarter has that deep, mirror-like shine and strong detail, it could be considered a first strike or have exceptional eye appeal, making it far more valuable than its face value suggests. And as always, condition is everything. The 1995 quarters that fetch the highest prices are those in mint state, often graded by services like NGC or PCGS. A coin graded MS66, MS67, or higher is rare on its own, but if it also features an error or unique variation, that's when collectors go all in. Many people ask, why would a 1995 quarter be so valuable when it's so modern? That's the beauty of coin collecting. It's not always about age, it's about rarity, condition, and uniqueness. The 1995 quarter represents a year when small mistakes turned into big paydays for those lucky enough to spot them. Think about it. How many people toss quarters into jars without even looking at them? How many potentially valuable coins are sitting untouched in old drawers, collections, and cash registers? That's what makes this hobby so thrilling. The treasure is already out there, just waiting to be discovered, and now we arrive at the moment that makes this story unforgettable. Among the known rare 1995 Washington quarters, one coin stood out from the rest. It was struck with a dramatic double die obverse error. It was graded in stunning mint state condition. It had the kind of crisp detail, eye-catching flaw, and perfect preservation that collectors dream of. That single coin was sold at auction for a mind-blowing $82,000. Yes, you heard that right. 82,000 United States dollars. For a coin most people wouldn't look at twice. So what does this mean for you? It means the next time you get change at the store, pause. Look closely. Inspect every 1995 quarter you come across. You never know what might be hiding in plain sight. It could be scratched, worn, and ordinary. Or it could be the rare, nearly perfect error coin that changes your life. Top 5. We're talking about the 1998 United States Washington quarter dollar. At face value, it's just 25 cents. But as any seasoned collector will tell you, not every coin is just what it seems. Some have stories to tell. Some hide incredible errors. And some, just a lucky few, can be worth life-changing money. So, whether you're new to collecting or a lifelong enthusiast, this video is for you. Stay with me, because we're going to uncover what makes the 1998 Washington quarter a potential hidden gem in your very own pocket, and reveal how one rare version of this coin sold for a breathtaking amount of money. Let's set the stage. By 1998, the Washington quarter had already been a fixture in American pockets for over 6 decades. Introduced in 1932 to celebrate the bicentennial of George Washington's birth, the quarter bore the iconic profile of the nation's first president, designed by John Flanagan. This portrait remained virtually unchanged for decades, until the dawn of the 50-state quarters program in 1999, which brought with it a whole new era of designs and collector interest. That means 1998 was the final year before the state quarter revolution began. It's the end of an era, the last classic Washington quarter before the series took a new direction. And for collectors, that alone makes it interesting. But there's more. Now, what makes a 1998 quarter truly valuable? The answer lies in a fascinating combination of rarity, minting errors, and condition. Most coins from 1998 are still in circulation today. They were produced in large quantities, hundreds of millions from both the Philadelphia, P mint mark, and Denver, D mint mark, mints. But just like every batch of handmade pottery has a few unique pieces, so too does every coin mintage include a few rare and unexpected treasures. One of the most exciting things collectors look for in 1998 quarters is error coins, mistakes made during the minting process that make a coin rare, one of a kind, and extremely desirable. Let's go over a few of the rare error types that could take your 1998 quarter from common to collectible goldmine. The first and most sought-after error is the double die, particularly on the obverse, the front of the coin. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts or rotates slightly between strikes. This results in noticeable doubling of the lettering or features. In the 1998 quarter, collectors have identified doubled lettering in Liberty, In God We Trust, and even subtle doubling around Washington's eyes and hairline. These doubling errors are eye-catching and highly collectible, especially when preserved in mint condition. Next up, we have the off-center strike, a dramatic error where the design is misaligned on the coin. Depending on how off-center the coin is, these can range from slightly unusual to completely wild-looking. The most valuable off-center quarters are those with significant misalignment, let's say 15% or more, with the date still clearly visible. This creates an instantly recognizable error that collectors love. Another rare type is the clipped planchet error. This happens when the metal strip used to punch out the blank coins overlaps slightly during the cutting process, causing a chunk of the coin to be missing. A 1998 quarter with a clear curved clip is not only rare but a visually striking error that really grabs attention. Then there's the broad strike error, which occurs when a coin is struck without the collar that keeps it in place. This results in a stretched-out coin that looks wider and flatter than normal. Combine a broad strike with a strong strike and visible details, and you've got a coin that collectors will pay top dollar to own. But the most dramatic of all? The wrong planchet error. Imagine a quarter struck on a dime planchet or even a foreign coin blank. These rare accidents produce coins that look strange, weigh differently, and don't quite fit the mold, literally. Some 1998 quarters have been discovered with this error, and they are considered extremely rare. When authenticated and graded, these coins can explode in value at auction. Let's talk about grading. It's not enough to just have a rare error, the coin's condition also plays a major role in determining its value. A 1998 quarter that has been circulating for years with scratches and wear might still be interesting, but it won't command the same price as one in mint state, or better yet, graded MS66 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC, coins that are flawless or nearly flawless, with sharp details and perfect surfaces, are extremely rare from this era, especially from everyday business strikes. Combine that top-tier condition with an error, and you've got the formula for a true collector's dream. It's also worth mentioning that the 1998 quarter marks a turning point in American coinage history. The state quarters that followed changed everything about the way people view the quarter dollar. But because the 1998 version is the last of its classic kind, collectors are always on the hunt for pristine or unique examples to complete their pre-1999 collections. That's why 1998 quarters, especially those with confirmed errors and exceptional condition, have been steadily rising in value among numismatic circles. Now picture this: you're sorting through some old change, maybe from an old drawer or a family coin jar. You pick up a 1998 quarter. At first glance, it seems ordinary. But then, something looks different. Maybe the lettering is doubled. Maybe the coin is oddly shaped. Maybe it has a strange cut or shine to it. That quarter, overlooked by millions of people, could be something extraordinary, and in one incredible case, it was a rare 1998 Washington quarter dollar, struck with a dramatic mint error, preserved in high-grade condition, and authenticated by a professional grading service, shocked the collecting world when it sold at auction. That one coin, so easily mistaken for an ordinary quarter, was purchased for an eye-popping $80,000. Yes, you heard that right. 80,000 United States dollars. For one quarter. One coin that anyone might have carried in their pocket, spent at a gas station, or dropped in a coin jar. This is the excitement and magic of coin collecting. This is why it's not just a hobby, it's a treasure hunt. And treasures are still out there, waiting to be discovered by someone who knows what to look for. So what are you waiting for? Go check your change. Dig through your drawers, your old wallets, your piggy banks. Look closely at your 1998 quarters. Because you never know, the next big find might just be sitting right in the palm of your hand. If you enjoyed this video and want more insights, stories, and real-world values from the world of rare coins, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for notifications. We'll be bringing you more amazing coin discoveries, collecting tips, and maybe even the story of your next big treasure. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.